What's up guys? In today's video I'm breaking down the best choices for video editing programs for Mac users in 2020. I've spent my time doing all the research for you and I've come up with some awesome options for Mac users at beginner, intermediate and pro skill levels. Hey, it's Joel with Video Shift Media. We're all about equipping you with the best tools, knowledge and practices to level up every area of your video creation and marketing skills to save time and create content like a pro. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and you can find all the links mentioned in this video in the description box below. So let's go. Now, if you're a Windows user looking for a solution that's right for you, check out my other video linked here specifically for PC users. Video editing software constantly changes and evolves, and that's why I will likely be doing a lot more of these video updates in the future as recommendations will change with the market. But today I will be dividing my recommendations into 3 categories: free, paid and professional grade software with a recommended skill level attached. Because if you're just starting out with video editing, you'll want to know which is the best for you to have a go at and not waste a heap of time getting frustrated with a program that's too complicated for your current skill level. Now, each program will have some basic system requirements for your computer to get the best results. And generally a newer machine is recommended for video editing as it can be pretty intensive for your laptop if it's an old and reliable. But while we go through this list, drop a comment below about which video editing software you're using right now. And once we've gone through all of the options, make sure you stick around because I'll be going over 3 bonus tips for editing your videos faster in any video editing software right now. So in the free video editing category, you'll typically find programs like Shotcut, HitFilm Express, Lightworks, iMovie, Vinci Resolve and Avid Media Composer first. The paid section is going to be options for people with a budget that know they will be editing often but they don't yet have that professional skill level. And the professional section is all about that pro video level that does cost money but is also amazing value for the flexibility and speed you can edit videos at. I'll be mentioning some industry standard programs here and focusing on only the best choices. As a final point before we start, none of the included software in this list will include any watermarks on your videos. Free video editing programs. Now, normally with free programs, they can be quite limiting in their included features, customization, and the ability to get the edits you really want. So after going through and testing all of these options, I've narrowed it down to the best free software for Mac, and they are HitFilm Express, iMovie, and Vinci Resolve. Each of these are going to suit different people's needs and skill levels as they're all totally different programs, but let's jump right in. HitFilm Express is a free video editing software with professional grade VFX tools and everything you need to make awesome content, films or gaming videos. Perfect for beginners, film students, gamers, YouTubers or any creative without a budget. The great thing about HitFilm Express is that you're joining a growing community of 5.1 million filmmakers and content creators, all striving to make great content. This software has an easy to use interface that pretty much anyone could jump into and start learning for free with. There are a load of VFX add-on packs that you can purchase if you're looking to do some more advanced VFX work, titles or color grading. Or you could go ahead and purchase the pro version as an option as well. But for the beginner, HitFilm Express would more than be adequate enough to cut professional looking videos together on your computer. It has a nice and easy to understand interface to get you started and a good amount of features to keep you busy video editing, sound, music, titles, graphics and more. iMovie is one you have likely heard of or used before. It is available for free download on the Apple App Store if it didn't already come pre-installed on your Mac. iMovie is aimed at people completely new to video editing, and it will allow you to create some fairly good videos. The interface is simplified and easy to use, and there are quite a few useful features included. One thing that's annoying about iMovie at the moment is its restrictions on video sizes. Currently only widescreen format is available, whereas in all the other editing programs I've mentioned, you can create multi-format square, portrait and widescreen videos. iMovie is definitely suited to the beginner skill level editor, so if you have a Mac and want to give editing a try, this could be a good first option for you to dive into. And if you do find that you like editing on iMovie, what's cool is there's another software called Final Cut Pro that you can progress to as you get more confident. The interface on Final Cut Pro is very much the same as iMovie's, with some more advanced features for professional video editing. It is a paid program, which I'll be talking in more detail about in the next section. The third program on my free list is a personal favourite, Vinci Resolve. Vinci Resolve 16 is the current version that combines professional editing up to 8K footage, colour correction, visual effects, and audio post-production in an all-in-one software tool. Guys, this is the most professional software on the market that you can get for free. You can instantly move between editing, colour effects, and audio with a single click. Whether you're an individual artist or part of a large collaborative team, Vinci Resolve is becoming a standard for high-end post-production. It's used on Hollywood feature films, TV shows, and commercials more than any other software. Part of the reason why it's becoming so popular is Blackmagic Design. This is the company behind the software that's really disrupting the market at the moment. Their product range includes affordable cinema-style cameras that work seamlessly with Vinci Resolve. The Pocket 4K and 6K cinema cameras are the most popular and produce stunning images, similar to $20,000 cameras at a fraction of the price. But I'm a little biased as this video is being filmed on the Pocket 4K camera right now. Back to the software. The DaVinci interface is definitely intuitive and great for saving time as it uses your computer's GPU to speed up your editing performance. But that doesn't go for older and slower computers. DaVinci runs best on newer, more powerful computers to get the best out of them. So if you're using an older laptop, don't expect amazing performance there. Now, will it be a good option for beginners? Probably not, as it is packed full of all these professional features, which will be a little overwhelming if you're just getting started. The interface isn't as easy to use as other free options, and it does require setting up with keyboard shortcuts to really make the most of the program, and it will really take some time getting used to using this efficiently. A final point that when downloading Vinci Resolve, you'll need to register on the Blackmagic Design website to get your access code for the software. So to summarize for the free section, if you're an absolute beginner, iMovie or HitFilm Express would both be great options to dip your toes into video editing with. And if you're someone who's more intermediate and has been editing on simple programs for some time, Final Cut Pro or Vinci Resolve would be great options to level up your editing skills with at no additional cost to you other than your time. If you're wanting to get into more creative video projects or filmmaking as a hobby, I would highly recommend Vinci Resolve as it's more than likely to meet all of your needs and more. That being said, all of the programs I have mentioned are simply tools for being creative. No one tool is going to be the best for everyone, and it's how you use those tools to achieve the results you want as well. But since all of these programs are free, I would suggest trialing them out by downloading a few different trial versions to see what will be the best fit for your needs. Links to all of these are in the description box below. Okay, so let's jump into the next section, paid video editing programs. Paid video editing software is going to be more well-rounded, complete with a bunch of extra features with no restrictions. You might be paying a premium for a lifetime license, a license for multiple computers, or a monthly or annual subscription to the software. Obviously there are some exceptions to the rule like Vinci Resolve here, but most of the time I found this to be the case. In the paid section we have Lightworks Pro, WeVideo, HitFilm Pro, Camtasia, ScreenFlow, Filmora and Filmora Pro, Adobe Premiere Rush, VSDC Pro, AVS Video Editor, MOV AVI Plus, and Adobe Premiere Elements. Yes, that's a ridiculous amount of programs and ain't nobody got time for that, so I have narrowed this section down to the following awesome choices, and I think these are the only options worth the top spots in this section. So they are WeVideo, Adobe Premiere Rush, Filmora and Filmora Pro. Starting off with Adobe Premiere Rush, this is a program and app that has been around for a few years. I still believe it's worth an honourable mention in 2020 as it is pretty cool. You can start a video edit on your iPhone or Android phone with the app and continue that same edit on your computer, which could be a really great option if you travel a lot and don't have access to your computer. But in terms of features and capabilities, it kind of falls short compared to some of the other options on this list. Next on the list is WeVideo. The capabilities of this software are many and diverse. WeVideo markets itself as fast, easy and flexible, and it does just that by being a browser-based software, so you don't need to download anything onto your computer. This could be great again if you're traveling around a lot, but the difference here is being able to use this on any computer by logging into a supported browser. For example, this could mean a company with multiple people working on one project would be super easy. You would need to make a team account and share access if this is the case, and do be aware though, if you are traveling to places with dodgy internet, that will seriously hinder your ability to edit quickly. But you can actually start editing while your files are still uploading in the background, which is a very cool time-saving feature. For pricing, WeVideo does use the subscription model, starting at $4.99 a month for the power plan. Do note there are some restrictions on each of these plans along with some awesome features. The big one to note is the 720p restriction on the power plan. The plan I would recommend starting with is the next one up, the unlimited plan. It's pretty amazing times we live in that you can now edit up to 4K resolution video online with little to no lag in the cloud. It's pretty cool stuff. This option is another one that would be a really great choice for a beginner or an intermediate level editor looking to cut stuff together on the go quickly. For beginners, the ease of use and not having to worry about which computer you're on is a big selling point here. The last one for this section is Filmora. This is a software that has only recently overtaken a lot of its competitors and really has become quite an awesome tool to use. If you're a total beginner and have never edited videos before in your life, this would be a great option to get up to speed quickly with a simple, intuitive interface. One of the biggest pluses about Filmora is the optimization for lower grade computers. I was really impressed when testing this on a lower spec machine with how smoothly I was able to edit video. The awesome thing about Filmora is when you purchase it, you get a lifetime license. No monthly subscriptions or anything like that, it's yours for good. For under $60 US, you get an awesome array of features to edit your YouTube videos with, your movies with, your marketing videos. It's really a great deal. Filmora Pro is the next upgrade to the standard Filmora version. Filmora Pro is packed full of even more features to really take intermediate level video editor projects to that next level. The one-time purchase price of just under $150 might be off-putting for some, but when you look at the included professional level features and add up how much you would be spending in the long term with professional video editing subscriptions, Filmora Pro really is a great deal. It's a big call, but features included in Filmora Pro seem to rival the famous, or infamous, Premiere Pro, depending on your opinions of Premiere, which we'll be talking about soon. So for this section, if I had to pick a winner, it would have to be Vinci Resolve. I know it didn't get a mention here, but I will leave that for the professional section coming up next. But in terms of getting professional level features at an all-in-one package, Vinci Resolve is still the clear winner here, and it's for free. It's actually insane. The only thing you'll be needing to take into account here is how capable your computer is of running the program smoothly, and how much time you have to invest in learning a program this big. These are the industry standard programs used by professional video editors, large productions and post-production houses when immense attention to detail is required with frame-by-frame edits. But there are still some amazing options here for the intermediate editor, and if you're determined enough and have enough time on your hands, the beginner editor too. Professional video editing programs include the likes of Adobe Premiere Pro, Vinci Resolve Studio, which is the paid version of the software mentioned earlier, Final Cut Pro X, and Avid Media Composer. Now, since this video is mainly for you guys as aspiring solo video editors, I'll be leaving out Avid Media Composer. This is a really high-end program designed for and used by international film and TV productions with loads of pro video editors, assistants, and VFX specialists involved. So that leaves us with Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro X, and Vinci Resolve. Now, I'll be starting off with the elephant in the room, Adobe Premiere Pro. This is an amazing video editing program that I personally have been using for years. The software itself has evolved like everything else into an easy to download and set up application from Adobe, but it is far from easy to use for the beginner. Some of you with some experience here may be thinking, yeah, but Joel, I use it all the time and find it super easy to use. Well, that is awesome, but think about how many hours you've already invested into Premiere Pro alone to get where you are now. And so for those of you who haven't tried Premiere Pro for editing before, here's the scoop. Premiere Pro has an incredible amount of features packed into one piece of software, likely more so than any other software mentioned here apart from DaVinci. The Premiere interface is a bit of an eyesore covered in grey, and it can be a pain to use on a laptop screen. There's so many different panels and things you need to enable and click to do the thing you wanted to that could cause massive headaches for those less experienced. The positive side of this is Creative Cloud. Adobe Creative Cloud comes packed with a bunch of famous standalone programs to come to the rescue, and they all integrate really easily with Premiere. You could directly drag a Photoshop project file into Premiere as a graphic overlay, or right-click and open with Audition to any audio file in Premiere that needs tidying up, or even composite a really advanced VFX shot in with After Effects. With Premiere Pro and Adobe Creative Cloud in general, the possibilities really are only limited by your imagination. Now, a big reason a lot of people choose Premiere is due to the massive amount of file types that just work with it. You can drag in just about any video or audio file type there is and expect it to work with Premiere. Another really cool feature that came out recently is the ability to repurpose your videos to be different sizes with auto reformat across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram stories, TikTok, you name it. So now, if you're keen to give it a try, Premiere Pro and Creative Cloud comes with a 7-day free trial. After that, if you want to continue, everything is subscription based with monthly or annual payments. You can choose to subscribe to Premiere Pro alone, with a couple of programs, or the entire Creative Cloud suite for not that much more. I would highly recommend Premiere Pro to any intermediate level editor wanting serious flexibility when editing their videos, and Creative Cloud to anyone who needs to design, create, and release multimedia to a high level on a regular basis. A word of warning though, universities create entire full-time courses teaching this stuff, so a major investment in time and determination is what you'll need to have a good time editing with Adobe products. Final Cut Pro, or FCP, is a higher-end professional version of iMovie. In this program, it still has a really nice intuitive interface that's easy to use and not too intimidating. And it also includes a full suite of professional editing tools for your videos. Final Cut Pro actually used to be a lot more popular, but it did fall behind other software alternatives for quite a while. But it is another solid option that has managed to catch up to where the market is at now and provides a super fast and streamlined editing experience on exclusively Mac machines. And it is because of this that the software and the hardware of the program talk to each other so well. FCP has actually become the fastest video editing program on the market today performance-wise. FCP takes a very different approach to cataloging and organizing your footage for a streamlined drag and drop approach too. Another thing to note, that FCP is a one-time purchase for just under $300, which means you buy it once and get lifetime updates, which could be well worth the investment if this is a long-term route you want to take for your video editing. Now, mentioning it again, Vinci Resolve Studio is the last software in the professional section, as this software is just that, and it does have some paid features to unlock. The studio version of Vinci Resolve does have a one-off license payment of just under $300. With the studio version, you do unlock professional interfaces, multiple monitor outputs and things like that, higher resolutions like 8K and things like that, and I should mention that you do get the studio version of the software for free with any Blackmagic cinema camera that you purchase. However, the free version of DaVinci will do pretty much everything that the majority of people will need in an editing program. Alright guys, so that wraps it up for my best video editing software for Mac in 2020. Thank you for staying with me for this long. I know your brain might be a little fried after that. So let's break it down. My main recommendations for each section for you guys are WeVideo for the absolute beginner, especially if you're editing on a computer that's not so powerful. You can give some of that hard processing work to the online web and use it if you're a traveler too. The next one would be Filmora or iMovie for the intermediate video editor. If you have some experience doing some editing but don't have the time to get stuck into a big technical program, then Filmora or iMovie could be the program for you. Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and DaVinci Resolve are all amazing picks for professional editors wanting an industry standard solution on Mac that's affordable and accessible and packed with high-end features. And lastly, my top pick for the overall winner. It's a really tough choice, but for now I'm going with Final Cut Pro. I really do think this is the best all-round solution for a Mac user in 2020. This is an editing powerhouse suite that will not let you down. The lifetime update license deal you get with the one-time purchase is an excellent deal in itself, and the learning curve is a great selling point too. If you're someone that doesn't yet have the confidence in your video editing abilities to drop $300 on a program, then iMovie would be a great starting point before diving right into the big brother program, Final Cut Pro. And with that, it's time for my 3 biggest tips to improve your video editing speed with any software. It doesn't matter which software you pick from this list, I promise this advice will help you. Tip number 1 is to get organized before you start. This means getting all your video and audio files put into a project folder. I like to have one folder named after my video and have separate labeled folders within that folder so I know where everything is. This is the same deal for once you're in your editing program. Use the media browser to create folders in your editing project so you know where everything is and you don't get confused by what's going on later. Tip number 2 is to start off your edits by focusing on the story. This is called a rough cut. It can be very tempting when you first drag in a few video clips to start messing around with overlay titles, graphics, color correcting things and effects and stuff like that. If you're adding effects like that at the start, all that's going to do is slow down your computer and make things harder and slower the further you go. But I would recommend just getting all the clips you want into the timeline first and getting a rough story together from start to finish so you can see how your story flows as a whole before wasting a bunch of time on the fine details and having to change it all later again. So focus on story first with a rough cut. And my final tip today is to make sure you're using keyboard shortcuts when you edit. So many first-time editing that I see try to use their mouse, clicking all the buttons on the screen. This alone is going to double if not triple your time spent video editing as you're only using one of your two hands. And I know it will take some time to get used to, but have a notepad next to you with a few essential keyboard shortcuts to remind you how to use them. This will help you get into the mindset of using your other hand to speed up your editing workflow. This is something you can do in any editing program, but it's an essential practice for all of them. Now, those 3 tips are just a small part of a much larger guide I'm putting together to show the fastest and easiest way to edit a video project from start to finish. If you would like to grab a copy of the guide to download, there's a link in the description. I also have some free resources for you guys on all the filming and editing equipment I use in the links below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn the bell on. I'll see you next time.